Good evening, class. We are looking at orientation for Math 227. Here's your home page of the course. I put that in student view. There have been several emails sent to you regarding the course, and to get this started, basically, when you go to your course, the very first thing you see is watch the welcome message. There is a welcome message here. Hopefully you watched it. If not, I'm basically welcoming you to the course, and I'm very happy to have you here. Number two, so all we have to do, follow the numbers. Class philosophy and course objective. This class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective, and that is to learn. The bottom line, as far as the class philosophy, is that we are all in it together, and we are all here to help one another. The course objective, it is about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, and predictive techniques to facilitate decision making, so on and so forth. As far as my contact is concerned, here's my email address, and I will answer my emails maximum within 24 hours. The next one would be to read the announcements. There have been several announcements. Recorded orientation. We have a couple of old orientations. Welcome and orientation, telling you about what you get on this page. Exemption to orientation, how to be exempt from the orientation. Of course, you're here already. Welcome to your virtual course. I sent several emails, starting with a couple of weeks ago, then a week ago, then a couple of days ago. So that's what you find under the announcements, and there will be more announcements coming your way. By the way, you can always click on that or on the left navigation. Number 4, follow the steps. First, let me give you the synopsis of that. First, we have the syllabus, then we have the modules, homework, practice test solutions, discussion forum, exams, and finally, the student office hours is here. How do you join the meeting? Here's the Zoom meeting. This is for the office hours, which takes place on Saturdays from 9 to 11. If you have any questions, and here's the meeting ID. So that's what we're going to look at quickly. I can click on the syllabus right here, or on the left navigation bar, you can click on the syllabus. Either way is fine. So let's quickly start with the syllabus, and under that, we find the syllabus and the Excel calendar. So let's go with the syllabus. And it has several topics. I put them in this order because on a normal basis, students are not interested in every piece here, but you can click on a topic of interest. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to go over the whole thing. First and foremost, the course and section number. Then we have the student learning outcome, SLOs, course objective. The text, and I will show you, it's the OpenStax text. It's for free. The online assignments are done by My Open Math. I'm going to refer to them as MOM from now on. And again, that one is free. Here's the class calendar, starting with the orientation, which of course you're already here, and then the exams, all of which take place on Saturdays, with the exception of the first one and the third one, because it's a 8-week course. So as you can see, the first exam is coming up pretty fast. There are exam reviews on Saturdays if students show up. Needless to say, we have the recordings, and you will receive an email regarding the concept. There will be no proctorio exam. All exam reviews are recorded and posted under the recorded practice test lectures tab in Canvas. I will show you. I will be available during the designated exam review, meaning basically the office hours, to answer any questions. All exams expire at 11:59 on their due date. You may take the exam anytime on that day, but no later than 8 or 9 p.m. In fact, when you receive an email from me, from the time you receive the email, which is a few days in advance, up to the day that it's due. This course is online. There are no class meetings. You can use any calculator of your choice, such as a TI 8384. You can use the formula sheet. Also, as far as the calculator, I put several calculators online. You can use them. Tech support for the MOM or My Open Math, for Canvas, as well as the campuses here. PowerShop, also known as the Math Lab. The website is here, and the hours can be found then and there. Now, the most important thing I believe students are interested in would be the grading policy. In my opinion, if I were you, I would want to know how my grading is calculated without a doubt. So pay attention to this very closely. You can always go back and check it out. There are several things you want to pay attention to. Number one, the online homework, you receive 200 points. That should be easy to get because I haven't really timed it when you start. As long as you spend enough time to, do the homework, you get full credit. So the number of times you take the same homework or the amount of time it takes you to finish it is not a problem. We have a review participation discussion board, 100 points. There are 5 of them. Each one is worth 20 points, total of 100 points. Again, I'll show you there are 4 exams. Each one is worth 100 points, very similar to homework questions and practice tests. And the final exam, which is comprehensive and is 300 points, all you have to do to study for the final. I want you to pay attention to that. Study the previous exams and the new module. There's only one module which is brand new after the 4th exam. So one module, previous exams, you will need the final. There is no makeup policy. If anything happens that you have a proper documentation, you can let me know and I give you a makeup exam. The final score can replace the worst exam grade as long as the final score is good, meaning B, 80% or higher. And the discussion board, discussion forum, as well as your homework is high meaning 90% or higher. The action will result in a higher letter grade as well. So if we do all of it and the letter grade doesn't change, it doesn't make any sense. The course late work policy, you receive 10% penalty if you do the assignments late. There is no late policy for the discussion forum. As far as exams, the same thing, you let me know and I may give you the extension. Time frame exams will be graded within a few days and you will receive the email answer from me within 24 hours. This is important. CSU will be study 36. According to this website, when they have 12 units, it's considered 4 times 12 times 3 make it 36 hours. So you need 3 hours per unit for a regular semester, which is 16-week long. In this case, because it's short, you need at least 18 to 20 hours per week to be successful in this course. The dropping policy is very simple. If you miss the orientation or do not register with the publisher, in this case is MOM, My Open Math, within 24 hours, or miss any of the exams, the first exam, the second exam, you name it. There are more websites here regarding OSS, financial aid, and any type of help you may need. And the summary step is interesting for everybody to know. Study the PowerPoints in each module, do your homework before the due date. You can watch the video lectures embedded in some homework in MOM. Study the practice test and their solutions. Post questions in the discussion forum on Canvas. Send your questions via Canvas inbox or campus email. As always, in a subject, you want to put your full name and the section you're registered in. And if there's a review session you want to attend it, by all means, take the exam by their do that. And the office hours not only is posted on the home page of your Canvas, it's also here. And the next one, Netiquette for Online Learning. I highly recommend you read that. I don't want to go over that and I don't want to waste your time, but in short, it says you want to act like a professional and be courteous to one another. That's really the bottom line. We want to be absolutely nice to one another, and you want to always use a positive tone and be respectful of others and their time. That's the bottom line. And there is a syllabus addendum here, okay, at the end. So I highly recommend take a couple of minutes to go over that later on. But that's the bottom line as far as the syllabus is concerned. Also, the Excel calendar for the syllabus, I put them separately just to make sure you have access to that. And for now, the very first assignment is called Introduction, MOM Introduction Assignment, which helps you learn about how to do, homework in MOM, and it's due in a couple of days. So anybody who misses that will be dropped from the course. You don't want to, miss that. And there is more here. For example, the first exam, it takes place in less than 2 weeks. So under the syllabus, you can find the syllabus itself and the calendar. Let's go back to the home page. After the syllabus, it says the module. So let me quickly show you what's under the modules: module, homework, practice test, then we get to the discussion point. So what do we find under the modules? Let me just quickly give you the recap of that. Number one, My Open Math, and we're going to do this at the end because I'm going to come back and show you how we do the homework. So the first thing first, MOM, My Open Math, which is your digital homework. The next one is Statistic PowerPoint Lecture Solution by section with the practice test. I put them here as well as right here on the recorded practice test. Yeah, we'll go back to that in a moment. But for now, let me go back to the modules. So this can be found here or here. Exam 1 module, exam 2, exam 3, exam 4, module 5. I will cover exam 1 module shortly, and the rest of them really follow. But what do you find at the end? One of them is module 5, which is part of the final exam. And then very last one, the very last module, we have the elementary statistics formulas. You have the formula sheets, everybody. You can use them because there are many formulas in statistics and they are very involved, okay? That's one. I'm going back to the same module. We have the tables there. There are many, many tables, such as the Z table, the T table, chi-square, and so on and so forth. There are many, many tables there, class. So I'm going to go back to the modules. And again, what else? The last thing you find is information about the calculator. So what did I put here? I put not only the TI commands, okay, so these are short commands for just about everything you do. Also, I have the possibility of using a TI emulator, okay, class, and that you can download and see if you can make it work. It may not happen all the time, but it can work sometimes, okay? And let me see if I can if I have access to that here to show you. No, I don't have access to that to show you, but that's fine. So you do have a possibility of downloading. There are several calculators. If you go towards the end, we have social science statistics, another one called, Star Trek, and so on and so forth. I will show you all of those calculators when we go to MOM, because I also put it there for you in case. Going back to the modules, what we are going to do now, we are going to look at the exam 1 module. And remember, exam 2, 3, 4, they follow the same thing. I start with the practice test. I'm going to tell you why I do that. Because I'd like you to read this and see what the first module will cover, chapters 1, 2, 3. And here's the synopsis of the chapters and the questions that you will see. You don't have to do any of those questions yet. You just want to know that, okay, these are the types of questions that I'm going to encounter: mean, mode, midpoint, low boundaries, as population, and all of them. So first and foremost, I want you to read about that. Then what happens is that we have chapter 1, 2, 3. Those are the PowerPoints, and then I have the solution to the practice test. What I want you to do, either print the practice test or just write it on the computer. As you go through the PowerPoints here, here's the first one. And if I look at the first one, for example, the first section, if you download this and you put this in slide mode, you won't see the whole page in one shot, but rather step by step, especially when you go through examples. It starts with the question. You don't see the solution. And as you arrow down, you get to the next part and the next part and the next part. And the best way to go through the PowerPoints. As you go through the PowerPoints, remember, you've already read the practice test, so you have an idea what the questions are. So you can answer a couple of questions here and there. So on a daily basis, you will end up answering a couple of questions from the practice test. So there's chapter 1, then you go through chapter 2, then you go through chapter 3, all of the sections. And by the time we get to the week, to a couple of days before the exam, practically we are done. And because it's a short term, you really have to do this pretty fast. So when we come towards the end, getting closer and closer to the exam time, we can see the solution with details. I highly recommend you do the practice test on your own and then consult the solution to make sure it's correct. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of learning, okay? Every question is answered with details. Okay, class? All right. So that's exam 1 module. So in short, under the modules, you'll see my open math. I will come back to this in a moment. Lectures, section by section. Exams module. This is for the first one. And then by the time you go through the first one, you learn how to deal with it as far as the second one, third one, and fourth one. And module 5 is the one that will be added to the rest of them for the sake of the final. And the last one is the module that gives you information about formulas, tables, and TI calculator. Let me go back to the home page. All right, so now we went over the modules, and as far as the homework, it'll be done in my open math. I'll go over that moment. So under the modules, we could find the practice test, PowerPoints, solution to that, homework, I will go over that, practice test and solutions. The next one is the discussion forum. Submit 1 question per forum. This one, again, you can click on it here or on the left column. It says discussion, either way is fine. So what do we find under that? Number 1, there's a student bios. If you like to get to know your fellow students and you want them to get to know you, go here. First of all, I put mine just as a sample, okay? And then just reply and put yours. If you read somebody's bios and you want to have a constructive and courteous comment by all means. The next one is the frequently asked questions. Before you ask any question, you want to go over that. For example, how do I use the math editor? Do I need a course ID for this course? We used to not, but we do now because something happened with the Canvas. I will go over that. What is the course ID and everything for this course? Text, do I need a text? No, it's online, tech support, and more questions are answered here. One of the common questions I come across, where to find the exam password? The exam password will be emailed to you via announcements. So if you miss that, you can find it under the announcements. So the password will be found under the announcements when the time comes. So that's the discussion forum. And now, none of them, those two are graded, but we start from module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are graded, okay? And I'm going to quickly go over that in a moment. Also, we have a student-to-student classroom interaction. I will not monitor this, but I encourage you to work together. If you have questions, ask one another. That would be fantastic. So going back to the discussion, I want to discuss the ones that are graded, starting with the first one, and the rest of them follow. So you're required to post at least one question and its solution, either if you can find it from a different source would be nice. If not, from a practice test number 1 for this one, because module 1 and practice test 1 go together. Posted under the modules or any source of your choice per grading policy. Let's see what I want you to do. Read all the previous posts, questions and solutions posted by others, and pick a different question. No duplication is allowed. A question with one word solution, one line solution or definition is not acceptable and results in 0 points. Sometimes students don't want to do a good job on that. They just want to grab something which is a one-liner and do that. You won't receive 10 points for doing that, okay? You want to write if you pick it from the practice, the question number and write the question with details and show all the steps using math equation editor. Things must have formulas and you want to use the formulas. Number 2, find a similar problem online or on YouTube or on Khan Academy and post it there. The next one is that you put a YouTube video which is similar to the question or at least something from module 1. And number 3, comment on or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. In other words, explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it, and outline a few steps you learned as a result. Sometimes students give a compliment and they think that's a comment. No, it would be nice to put a nice compliment, but that's not the comment I'm looking for. And I'm giving you an example. I write the question from A to Z. I show you the formulas using math editor. I go over the details. Then I pick a similar question. So look at my example. And then I comment on somebody's YouTube about the Z-score. And at the end, I'm again repeating to use the math editor. I'm explaining reply, insert, click on the symbol for the square root of x. And what this means really, when you click on reply here, if you click on insert here, then this is the equation editor. That's all I'm saying. All right, so going back to the discussion. So the first one is the student bio, the second one frequently asked question, and the last one is student-to-student classroom interaction. But module 1 is the one that you receive 20 points and it has a due date, and the rest of them the same. The way I've set up the due dates for everything is the day before each exam. Everything is due before each exam. So going back to the home page, after the discussion forum, on the left side, I want to show you the sample test solution on the left side, this one. If something goes wrong and Canvas is not available, you want to make a note of this website. So just about everything that you need is here, like my PowerPoints, practice test, solution to practice test. Everything that you could find under the modules is here. You don't need this class. You don't need this unless something goes wrong and Canvas is not available. Therefore, you want to go make a note of that. Otherwise, you don't need that. Going back to the home page. As I mentioned, you want to take the exams, and the exams, just like the homework, everything is done under the modules and in MOM. So that's the last thing that I'm going to go over right now. Before I do that, I want to also click on recorded practice test here. And what I have done here for you is that I put the new recorded practice test as well as the previous ones and the PowerPoint. So this is the new recorded practice test I have started for this semester. And this one, section by section, not only you have the PowerPoints under the modules, you also have the lectures. Okay, everything is here. All right, going back to the home page. Remember, we were gonna take a look at homework, and the bottom line is MOM. So let's go back to the modules. Under the modules, and the first one, it says how to log into my OpenMath. Due to a problem with integration of MOM with Canvas, please follow the instruction here. So you go to this website. It will ask you for the course ID. Here's the number. You copy paste it. It will ask you for enrollment key. Just copy paste it and you register. That's all you have to do. And when you want to register, remember they ask you some basic questions such as your full name. Make sure to please put your full name as it appears on the roll sheet. Your full name, when they ask you last name, first name, as it appears on the roll sheet. So now that you have registered, it will take you to MOM or My OpenMath. So here's MOM or My OpenMath. And the very first thing at top, you see that mandatory introduction assignment. And I want to go over that first and foremost, because that will show you how to work with this. And again, I may put this in the student mode or instructor mode, makes no difference as far as I'm concerned, but in your case will be in student mode. So if you start that, notice what happens. The idea behind this is just to get you familiar with My OpenMath, that's all. So in this question, we are going to ask for a number. Enter this number. Take a look. Enter this number. So let's enter this number. And the moment I click on this, math editor shows up. I don't need a math editor for this question, but if I do, I can use it. 31.9763. So that's, yes. Enter this number rounded to the nearest hundreds. So 31.9, nearest hundred. So 7, and it goes up to 8, because next to 7 is number 6. Do you see that? And can I divide by 0? No, it's undefined. In this case, they don't have undefined here, so I put DNE, does not exist. Does not exist. If I submit the question, notice what happens. The check mark says I have done it right. Otherwise, I pick a similar question. See, if I get a, let's say I made a mistake, I get a similar question and I do that. And the same thing happens with the next one and the next one and the next one. As long as you can do one, you can do all. So what happens when I do that? Something comes up, I can't continue. I'm going to say done. And when I say done, notice what happens. It shows question 1 is done. The rest of them are not. So what can I do? I can resume. So I go to the next one and the next one and I do it, or I can exit. So immediately it puts in the gradebook that I've done the portion right, and I received that grade for this mandatory introduction assignment. Anytime I go back and I do more, it will update my grade. So that's what I mean. Time, you can do it as long as it hasn't expired, and how long it takes you to do it is not important. The next one is exams. You don't have to worry about any of this yet. But again, I put it at the top because in the past, sometimes students say, okay, where do I find the exam? So right under the exams, the first one, exam 1, as you can see, it's coming up soon. But for now, 11.3. For now, we're going to forget it. Then I have the course description. The course provides an overview of statistical reasoning, so on and so forth. And look at the calendar, and you can change this to any number you want, 4, 2, you know it. Perhaps for this course, you want to change it to 2 because it's a fast pace. And as you can see, exam 1 is coming up. Notice this introductory assignment is due soon, and everything else is due the way before the exam. That means I should do all my work before exam 1? No. If you wait until this day, you will be behind. I can't emphasize this enough. Every day, you have to do 1 or 2 sections. This is a fast-paced course. Every day, you have to do 1 or 2 sections. Then we have different modules, module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just the way we had it in Canvas. So what is module 0? Module 0 is the resources. So first and foremost, here's the text, and these are the sections that we cover as we did it over there, okay? And also, I have this text. This is based on this text. The difference is this is online, and if I click on view online, it's easier to navigate. I'm going to update it. It's easier to navigate. It is absolutely the same text as this one. The difference is, in this case, it's been moved a little bit. Sections have been moved, so they work with our section numbers in our PowerPoints. Again, I repeat, this is the same text. This one may be easier to navigate, but this one has the sections in the order that we work with. So that's the first. So it's this book based on this one online. Then we have late pass, calendar, grade book, the information that you may need as you go through that, how you can look up your grade, how you can, review your assignments. Everything is explained here. Then I have my resources here, the tables that you found under the modules of Canvas, formula sheets, PowerPoints, everything is here also. The multimedia library. And then take a look, free online calculators. By the way, when I was talking about the TI calculator, this is the calculator that I have. This is the emulator you may be able to get if you go through the module that I had and see if there's a possibility of downloading it. Sometimes it's difficult to do that. So you have a statistic calculator, Star Trek calculator, calculator.net, standard deviation calculator, Poisson distribution, so on and so forth. There are so many calculators, and just for the sake of argument, the first one will have everything you need, but you have to work with it a little bit. The second one, Star Trek, the same thing, but you have to work with it a little bit to get comfortable with that. You have a multimedia library, you have more videos. P-value calculator. Now, what is a p-value? We will discuss that later on when we come across it, when we discuss the hypothesis testing. But if anybody wants just to be able to calculate the p-values, you can use the p-value calculators, although you really have to know what they are. And so understanding the concept is important. Another calculator online is Desmos, and there is an introduction to that as far as the graphing calculator is concerned. So not only we have the calculator, we also have the video that explains how to use it. Continue, and there are more calculators here besides the online stat calculator here, daily schedule calculator, study schedule. many different calculators here. So class, what do we find under module 0? A lot of resources, all of which are provided for free. Do you need all of them? Absolutely not. But it helps if you go through them, spend about maybe 15-20 minutes, explore them and see which one works the best for you. Starting with module 1, here's chapter 1, section 1.1. What does it start with? Here's how you study. I would first print the practice test, not the solution, the question. Then I would go over the PowerPoints. But even if I didn't, I would watch these videos that are in red because they pertain to this section. And please report if there's any broken link. Then it's my video lectures. And then there are more video lectures. Do you need all of it? No. But I highly recommend maybe for the first or two, look at all of them and see what works the best for you. And then you get to the homework. If I click on 1.2, take a look. Same thing happens. First, watch these video lectures. Then it's mine, then the recommended one. And then the homework starts and you do the homework. So you have to do all the homeworks. Just for the sake of argument, if you go over that and it starts the first question in a study, the data collects is, data you collect is favorite candy bar. This data is quantitative or qualitative. So you answer that, qualitative. And if you submit the question, it check marks, it says it's correct. And you go to the next one and the next one and the next one. And again, I'm not going to go to the next one. I'm going to click on next. I'm done. The fact that I did one question, it's already registered in the gradebook. And I can resume or I can exit. If I exit, anytime I go back to that question, I did 1.2. It shows that I've done one and it's correct. I can move on from there. So I hope everybody is comfortable as to how things take place. So a quick recap. The first one was a welcome message. The second one, philosophy of the course. The third one, the announcements. You don't have to worry about any of them yet. Every announcement that comes up will be emailed to you. And if you miss it, you can go under the announcements and check it out. Then we went over the syllabus, the modules. You can find just about everything. Your practice test, your PowerPoints, homework is done under the module which says MOM. Practice test solution is there. Discussion forum on the left side, the discussion, you have to do one per module. And this is optional because in case the MOM is not available, on the recorded practice test, you can find my practice test as well as the lecture for my PowerPoints. And finally, here's the office and the Zoom meeting in case you have any questions. I wish you all best of luck and happy studying, everybody.
Thank you so much, Dr.